There are three words that always get used together when talking about the music business. It's that unholy trinity of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, today's song is probably considered more like pop, but it certainly ticks the other two boxes. It's an 80s classic by a band that was better known for being punk rockers. Despite zero confidence or support from their label, this hit defied all expectations with its unusual sound and quirky time signature. I'm talking about the Stranglers, and probably the song you and I most recognise them for, Golden Brown. So, come from far away, stay for a day, while we take a look at this classic from 1982 on this week's 80s Song of the Day. The Stranglers are an English rock band formed in Guildford, Surrey in 1974. Originally called the Guildford Stranglers, they're still around today despite the death of some of the original members, making them one of the longest surviving acts from the UK punk scene. Known for their idiosyncratic style, they evolved from the mid-70s pub rock sound by exploring new wave, art rock and gothic rock, their musical stylings defying genre conventions. With 23 UK top 40 singles and 20 UK top 40 albums, they are undoubtedly best known for their 1982 worldwide hit, Golden Brown.
Time, just like the last, on the ship, tied to the mast, to distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown.
The song we know as Golden Brown is what was left from a 10-minute Baroque piece of prog rock after they trimmed it down, removing all the parts they thought wouldn't work. Guitarist and lead singer Hugh Cornwall then set about writing lyrics for it, and with some heavy editing, brought it down to a radio-friendly 3.5 minutes. The lyrics are deliberately ambiguous, with the music press questioning at the time what the song was about. It seemed to be about a woman, but at the same time about something more nebulous.
Golden brown, fine temptress. Through the ages she's heading west, from far away, stays for a day.
Cornwall eventually came clean, stating that the song describes both a romantic relationship as well as his use of heroin. They both brought me a lot of pleasure at the time, he admitted.
I think a lot of people get into the romanticism of drug taking rather because of the old English poets, Shelley and Coleridge, they were all drug addicts, and so people get this romantic, drugs, romance, poetry, and really it doesn't really, the best poetry you ever come up with is when you're stone cold sober.
Obviously, we don't condone the use of drugs here at the 80s Song of the Day, but it is an interesting perspective, and it's certainly not the only song ever written about illicit substances.
But really it's saying be careful. Heroin was a dangerous thing, so I tried to put that in the lyric,
If you've ever had music lessons or even a passing understanding of music theory, you'd no doubt know that most music we listen to has either a 3/4 or 4/4 signature. That is 3 beats to a bar, what we call a waltz, or 4 beats to a bar, also known as a march. Most popular music today is written in 4/4 time, but there have been notable exceptions. Billy Joel's Piano Man is a waltz. So is Rainbow Connection by Kermit the Frog.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side?
But there are some songs that go stranger than that. Take 5 by Dave Brubeck is famous for its 5/4 rhythm. And one of my favourite songs, Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel, is effectively in 7/4 time.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill, I could see the city light. Wind was blowing, time stood still.
I'd love to do a whole episode on Salisbury Hill, but it came out in 1977, so it doesn't qualify for an 80s Song of the Day. Golden Brown is unusual with its asymmetrical compound meter. It's mostly a waltz with every 4th bar in the instrumental parts swapping to 4/4, so that it has one extra unexpected beat, which gives the song an off-kilter feeling, kind of like the audio equivalent of vertigo. Similar to a dizzying sensation perhaps experienced when in love or under the influence of certain pharmaceuticals. No one outside the band expected Golden Brown to be a hit record. EMI Records had inherited the Stranglers as part of a buyout of their label Liberty, but they honestly didn't believe in the band, and they hated the song. EMI released it at Christmas time, almost spitefully hoping that it would get lost in a slew of Christmas tunes. Instead, it defied all expectations. It went top 10 in Australia, Ireland, most of Scandinavia, and Belgium. It barely missed the top spot in the UK charts, peaking at number 2. Perhaps because word had got out about the unacceptable subject matter.
Big Mouth Burnell decided to tell the press what it was about. And suddenly it was removed from all the playlists. And I said, thank you very much, you know.
Never a frown.
I would have waited till it got to number 1 and then said it.
So there you have it, Golden Brown by the Stranglers. Remember kids, stay off drugs, and join me next week for another 80s Song of the Day.
Golden brown, texture like sun, lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown.